drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and so good to see everybody. Today, I wanted to hop into something that I saw today that really has major financial implications. It has to do with the guy Diddy. A lot of you have been following what's going on with Diddy and all of the allegations and everything else and lawsuits and all that stuff. Well, there's a couple of interesting things that just happened, and I think these are interesting financial lessons in terms of really kind of understanding how these things work. And in case you want to know why I talk about this stuff, it's because I'm two things. I'm a Black man and I'm a finance professor in that order. So I care about things that happen in the Black community, things that influence Black people, and I also care about things that influence our Black economics. And Diddy is a person who's always talked about Black wealth, Black economics, stuff like that. I know that he had Dr. Claude Anderson fly in and meet with him at one point, and you guys know I'm a big fan of Dr. Anderson. We read his books every Wednesday night for Powernomics training, and I'll invite you guys to that if you want to join that free class in the Black Business School. Now, here's what happened that got my attention that I thought was really interesting. So, first thing is I saw where did y'all give me a guess if you saw Jaguar Wright? Jaguar Wright is a woman who's been very outspoken about the debauchery and the ratchetness that's happening in the hip hop music industry. Just a lot of the assaults, a lot of the terrible things being done to people, stuff like that. Jaguar has been pretty vocal. I can't validate whether what she's saying is true or not. All I know is that there's definitely something beneath the surface. Wendy Williams used to talk about that too. And Diddy had Wendy Williams kind of ran out of town. And shout out to Wendy, though. I was on the Wendy Williams show about 6 times. And every time she treated me very well. Charlamagne treated me very well. And I found them both to be good people and intelligent people. Now, with that said, it's interesting. So a couple of interesting things that got my attention that I wanted to address is one, I saw Piers Morgan kind of issued an apology. I don't know if you saw this, but the other day you had Jaguar go on the Piers Morgan show, which is really fascinating because I didn't know. It's one thing if you are a Black person who's talking on the internet on different YouTube platforms. It's another thing when white people start paying attention, when white people are putting you on what appears to be mainstream media. That's when it takes a whole nother level, because we tend to just listen to white people more than we listen to ourselves, which is very weird. But she goes on Piers Morgan show and she brings up 2 names that a lot of people have brought up in the shadows, which is Beyonce and Jay Z. And she pretty much says that they're kind of wrapped up in some of this nonsense. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I know that Piers issued an apology a couple days later, because I think that the lawyers for Beyonce and Jay Z reached out to him and they had a little talk about it. I don't know what happened. I don't know if something was filed or not. But what the first thought that came to my mind is I wonder why. I wonder why they, or whether or not they reached out to Jaguar. Like, I wonder if they sued her, because it seems like that'd be the first person you'd go after, is the person who said it, not the platform of the person who let them say it. But that's one thing, right? So that's one issue, and it's a financial issue, right? Because Jay Z makes probably $100 million a year or more based on his reputation. He does work with the NFL, and he's highly regarded based on his reputation. So anything that takes away from that is going to take away from his family wealth. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for him. But here's another development that I saw that really got my attention. There's this lady. I think it's Thalia. Let me see. I can't remember her name, but she was one of Diddy's accusers. Did anybody else see this? Let me know if y'all saw this. This was really, really interesting. There's a really strong point I want to make on this. So there was the Diddy accuser who has a boyfriend Thalia Graves. That's her name. Did anybody see that? Thalia Graves. She kind of did what I knew was going to happen, right? She got her a high-paid attorney. I believe it might be Gloria Allred, who's really, really good at sort of, filing these sorts of suits. And she gets on there and she does what the lawyers tell her to do. She's crying and everything else. And not to say it's all an act, not to say that she wasn't really victimized. Maybe she was. But let me just tell you what happened here. And this is and there's an important point I want to make about this in terms of the financial side of this. So basically, it turns out she has an ex-boyfriend who claims that she tried to bribe him to go along with her version of the story. It says here that according to TMZ, she's suing Diddy and his head of security, Joseph Sherman, for allegedly assaulting her back in 2001, et cetera, et cetera. However, TMZ has seen a November 2023 text message, so that's a few months ago, between Thalia and the man who was her boyfriend in it. And she revealed that she planned to sue Diddy, quote, because he's the one that has the money. It also appears that she offered to give her boyfriend $3 million if he agrees to back her version of the alleged events. How many of y'all heard that? Did any of y'all hear about this? After asking him to attest that he's seen the alleged video of the incident, the actual text reads, "What do you need? 3 million?" We've actually spoken to her ex, that's what TMZ says, who confirmed the validity of the messages. After receiving the text, he says he blocked her number and also blocked her on social media. What's more, we're told Diddy's lawyers also have a copy of the same text. And her attorney, Gloria Allred tends to be the attorney that's on these cases, right? And here's what I want to get to with this. So give me a yes or no if you can agree with me that the idea that she was asking her boyfriend to corroborate or possibly make something up to support her story in exchange for money. Give me a yes if we can agree that this disrupts her credibility. Give me a yes if you think that this person should probably be scrutinized a little bit more. Give me a yes if we agree that her credibility isn't what it was, say, a week ago. All right. So put the yeses in the chat because you know me, I like to build the blocks and make the logical argument in hopes that we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. So if we all agree that her credibility is harmed by this, here's what I want us to understand though, is that this does not mean that Diddy's innocent, right? This does not mean Diddy didn't do anything to anybody. But what it does reflect is something that I've warned about ever since the Me Too movement started going after powerful men and allowing people to file lawsuits where they had very little evidence to support their claim. Right. This is what I talked about when I warned about these vulturous attorneys, these vultures out here, the Gloria Allreds, who know how to coach their client to get on camera, cry on cue, and file a lawsuit. And then what happens is that in many cases, because these individuals are afraid of their reputation being damaged, they'll just write a check just because they need it to go away. Right. So what it says from a wealth standpoint is that if you make the assumption that someone is making a false accusation, the wealthy black male is the most vulnerable to a false accusation. This is no different from slavery, y'all. This is not any different from slavery. There have been a lot of black men that have been killed from false accusations. And here's where this is a real problem. It's because I never really liked Diddy that much. I ain't gonna lie. I think he's a clown. I think he's a loudmouth. I think he doesn't follow through on the things he says he's gonna do. And I do believe he did some bad things. I do. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all want him to be your hero and all this, and I know the Democrats held him up as the hero because remember they used these people to get black people to vote and stuff, and they're like vote or die, vote or die. We're like okay, right? I didn't do none of that. I didn't fall for vote or die. I don't think Diddy. I think Diddy was this goofball Peter Pan. He's the black Peter Pan. He did the same dance. He's been doing the same dances for 30 years. I'm like, dude, you're in your 50s, bro. You're not 28 years old. Like, act like a grown up, please. So I've never been a fan of Diddy. I ain't gonna lie. But here's where I want you to understand the nuance in the argument here. The Me Too movement took things way too far to the extreme because you stopped vetting the alleged victims. You got to the point where you were allowing anybody, any drug addict, any liar, any scammer, any person with financial problems to step up and say, yeah, I was victimized too. I was victimized too. And then next thing you know, you've got your legitimate victims, right? You got your legitimate people that probably do have a legitimate claim. They went to a party and some stuff happened. I believe that there was something in that baby oil, something in the liquor. I would not go to a Diddy party and take a drink, right? So you got your legitimate victims in there, but then you got a bunch of other people you kind of pile on just to make it look like you got a whole lot of people. Do you understand? Like it's almost like you ever see like a movie where a person really only has like a few $100s, but they want to make it look like thousands, so they put paper in between the dollar bills to make it look like it's a big stack of money when really it might be just $20, but it'll look like a big old band of money. Right. That's kind of what these lawsuits do, unfortunately. And what it does, and the reason that this offends me and bothers me is not just because this is an easy shakedown method for any black male that acquires any wealth. But it also bothers me because it's very harmful to legitimate victims. Because now anybody who wants to carry the flag for Diddy, anybody who wants to believe that Diddy is innocent and that he did nothing wrong, which I'm not one of those people, I'm sorry. Anybody who believes that can go back and point to her and say, see, this proves that this proves that they lying. Maybe you're probably just like her, right? And I think that that's inappropriate. And what really needs to be done is there needs to be a vetting process. Cases like this are very serious. When you make a serious accusation that's going to cost somebody their wealth or maybe their freedom, you need to ask a lot of hard questions. And the reason that I'm concerned about this is because we didn't get into the politics of it. Everything's black or white. Either you are an advocate or you're victim blaming. You're victim blaming. How in the hell are you victim blaming when you're just asking questions? When you're like, well, what were you doing there? What time were you there? What did you do to participate in this process? Asking those questions is not victim blaming. It's fact finding. That's called fact finding. And so if you want to know what happens when you don't take the time to fact find and to research and to make sure that the person has a legitimate claim, you get stuff like this. You get somebody who says, you know what? I ran out of money. I need to buy some more meth. I had sex with a millionaire 20 years ago. I'm going to put my name in the lawsuit. I'm an actress, so I know how to cry on cue. So I'm going to go up in here and we're going to take this Negro's money. And that's what you see. That's one big problem. Now, there's one more thing I want to share with you. I didn't want to keep you guys for very long, but if you could do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I want to let you guys know that tomorrow for Powernomics Training, we do free Powernomics class in the Black Business School every Wednesday night. Don't ever say you didn't learn nothing about economics, because in the Black Business School, we are training millions of people for free, right? There's lots of stuff we have for free. Some stuff costs money, but a lot of stuff is free. So tomorrow night at 8:30, we're meeting for Powernomics Training, where we're going through all of Dr. Claude Anderson's books. He's the greatest economic thinker of the 20th century and beyond. And so if you want to join us tomorrow night at 8:30, you can go to blackkeystogreatness.com, or you can just text the word greatness to 87948. Tomorrow night, we're actually going to have a former Detroit Mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick, is going to join us for class. So Kwame and we talked. I'm not saying I think Kwame's guilty or innocent. I have no ability to ascertain any of that. I just know that he has some people that love him, some people that hate him. I just wanted to talk to him because I do think he's smart and I think he's interesting, and he has some interesting things to say about politics, and I think he has some insights that he could share with the community. So if you want to join us in the private Zoom where Kwame and I will be tomorrow night at 8:30, just text the word greatness, GREATNESS, to 87948. Text greatness to 87948. And also, if you want to get a copy of my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, you can go to drboycebooks.com, drboycebooks.com. All right, so we're talking about Diddy and these allegations and Piers Morgan and what happened there. And then this sort of idea of people just signing up for lawsuits and getting money just because people want to make the allegations go away. I think that this is a message that I really hope that how many of y'all got a black son or a black man in your family that you care about? Or if you are a black man, give me a yes if you are a black man, or you love a black man, or you got a black son, or you got a black uncle, or you got a black husband, or you got a black man in your life that you care about. Give me a yes in the chat if that's if you're in that category. And the reason I want to tell you this is because I need you to teach your son about the traps. We talked about this the other day. There are probably about 47 billion mousetraps that are set up for the black male from the time he's born. And one of those mousetraps sometimes involves other people's vaginas or whatever, right? It involves sexuality. And one of the things that I think rappers never learned, their mamas never taught them this, is that you can be lulled to sleep. They can make you think that you're above the law. They can make you think that you can do whatever you want. They can make you think that you can go out and do things without consequences. And then what happens is they come back. They circle back with the consequences 20 years later. So in hip hop, and I've been saying this for many years, this is stuff I've been saying probably for about 15 years now, is that hip hop is now having a chicken coming home to roost moment. All of the debauchery and the ratchetness that's been going on in the corporate hip hop space. I'm not talking about righteous hip hop. I ain't talking about D1. I ain't talking about Immortal Technique. I'm not talking about Kendrick Lamar. I'm talking about the Diddy space. All of the debauchery going on in corporate hip hop, where you've been mistreating women for a long time. You've been just jabbing each other's booty holes for a long time. You've been out here lying to the public for a long time. You've been taking things that didn't belong to you for a long time. You've been breaking the law for a long time. And now there are all these people that empowered you and made you think that you wasn't black no more. Like you walk around, I'm not black, I'm OJ. I'm not black, I'm Diddy. Well, now they're reminding you that you were black the entire time. This might be a Scooby-Doo mystery for you. You may be surprised by this realization that you were still black the whole time, even though you thought you would transcend because Ashton Kutcher is coming to your parties. Well, now they're just kind of reminding you that you were black. And here's my point. The point that I kind of want you to understand is that there's some black folks that really understood this the whole time. There are some black folks that have this thing that we've kind of let go of as a community, this thing called common sense. And common sense, hey, give me a yes. Let me give you an example. Let me lay out an example because sometimes I talk and it makes people upset. How many of y'all had like a parent or grandparent who would tell you, like, if you go get a job and they have a party, an office party, and all the white people get drunk, that you should not get drunk with them? How many of y'all have relatives that would tell you that? Like, don't them white folks, when they all start drinking, don't you go to that party and get drunk. Anybody got relatives that would tell you stuff like, or am I the only one? Am I the only one? My parents would tell me that. They'd be like, don't you go out there and do what the white boys do, because they'll get bailed out. Your black ass will still be in jail. Or don't go to college and act like the white boys and go get in trouble and get arrested. Oh, you staying in jail. They're gonna get, their dads are gonna come get them, and then they're gonna snitch on you, and then you'll be stuck in jail, and then all your white friends will be out here doing whatever they want to do. Or another. Let me think of, what was another one? What was it? Let me see. What was it? Don't drink at the parties. And then there was something else. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, it's like there's like these like caution signs that your grandparents would give you because they understand. They learned the hard way. They saw friends get killed because of these bad choices. They saw friends get locked up for things they did not do. They saw people's lives get ruined over one bad decision. So they kind of warn you. They kind of let you know that you ain't white. That you ain't white. And what the entertainment industry does, among many things that just pisses me off to no end, is they get you in there really thinking that racism don't exist no more. I think I heard Lil Wayne say that. Well, I don't, he got that deep voice. Well, I can't even do a Lil Wayne voice. But he's like, I don't see racism. Racism is nowhere around me. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like you really are high right now, aren't you? Because racism still real. You're still black. You haven't, your skin color has not changed. No amount of tattoos can really do that for you. And and I think that what kind of happened in hip hop is that you did have guys who really thought they were completely disconnected from the black experience in every way imaginable. And in fact, let me just tell you this. I'll tell you another little thing. My father told me this when I got my job at Syracuse, and I was young. I was 31 years old, and I just started making a lot of money. I was making over $100,000 a year. And my father came to me and he just said it straight out. He said, "Don't you fuck nothing on that campus." He said, "Don't you sleep with no students. Don't sleep with no professors. Don't he even the black ones. Even put the white, definitely not with the white girls." But he was literally saying, "Use your penis away from your job. Do not go to your job and sleep with anybody at that job, because if something goes wrong and you get reported to HR, you're gonna end up looking like the villain because you are always black." That was the kind of advice that I got. And let me just tell you, I love my daddy. I want to kiss him. I say, "Thank you, man." Not in a no Diddy. I can say no Diddy when I want to kiss another man, but I love my pops. I gotta say it in a masculine way so y'all don't be spreading rumors and stuff. Anyway, but I really want to thank my father for that, because that was good advice. Because you know what happened? There was actually a professor. I'm not gonna say his name. Another guy about my age who got to, we were young professors, right? So we're young and we got all this money and all this. And so sometimes you get girls that think they grown and stuff. I thought college students, like, I looked at them like little kids. They look cute to me, but in their mind, they're thinking that they're adults, right? So the girls would start flirting or whatever. And he actually slept with one of the students that was actually in his class. And let me tell you what happened. This is true story. Tell your sons this story. So what happened was, they basically they had a relationship while she was in his class, and it wasn't anything too inappropriate. I think he was 32, she was like 24, right? So it's like, okay, there's an age gap, but it's not like R. Kelly-ish, right? And so anyway, literally 6 months after they broke up, she filed a sexual misconduct charge against him. It wasn't rape. I don't know I didn't know exactly. I was like, what is sexual misconduct? I don't understand that. And do you know that they had this guy? He was a professor now, PhD, all this stuff. They had his picture on TV, his mugshot on TV, like he was O.J. Simpson. I kid you not. And I remember when I saw that, I said, "Man, Daddy was right. Damn." And here's the thing. all the charges got dropped. But when you're a black man, do the charges ever really go away? What do y'all think? When you're black and you're accused of something, does the stain from the accusation ever really disappear? Or is it like that little nasty stain in a white t-shirt where you scrub it and it still don't go away? No, you always that Negro who got accused, whose picture was on TV like you were a criminal. And I thought it was incredibly unfair and ridiculous and crazy. But then I was also thinking, dude, why are you sleeping with students? Like, you ain't white and you really shouldn't be doing it anyway. Like, there's plenty of women out here for you. Why do you have to pick the one that's in your class? That's the part that I didn't understand. But really, so here's my point. I'm gonna make a simple argument that you'll probably never hear from anybody else online, maybe because nobody else is thinking about this, but I do. I think that any black male who wants to be economically successful in this world is gonna have to value some degree of sexual discipline. You're gonna have to do it. And there's other examples of situations that were patently unfair that I could name. Like, for example, Tavis Smiley had women, he had women that worked for him. They were attracted to him. He slept with a few of them, and PBS just literally destroyed everything he had. I thought that was unfair. They shouldn't have done that to Tavis. But the reality is that when you're black, the rules are a little bit different. And what's challenging about that is that part of, if you read books on biology and human nature and attraction, you'll find that that a man having lots of money and lots of power makes him very attractive. It's like being a woman with long hair and a big booty. Like, every girl is interested. A lot of women are interested in that. So sometimes it's hard for a man to resist all that. But if he wants to protect his power, he's going to have to be very thoughtful, very strategic about how he engages when it comes to his sexuality. And so when I look at Diddy, I feel kind of bad because it's kind of like, wow, dude, like you obviously could not contain your inner beast, and now it's going to cost you all of your generational wealth. Let's just be clear. They probably have hundreds of victims lined up, ready to get that check. Diddy has worked his whole entire life so he can pay other people. Maybe some of it's protected with a trust and all this other stuff. Oh, but they're going to do everything they can to claw every nickel out of that man before they dump his dead body, in his limp dead body, in a prison cell. And that's the part that's it's unfortunate, not because I think Diddy's a great guy or because he's innocent, but because it really didn't have to be that way. Right. If you look at Diddy, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, all of these were men of privilege. All of these were men who had lots and lots of blessings in their lives. They could attract lots of women. They could get away with lots of stuff. And there's something about it. There's something about that dopamine addiction where you just keep feeding that beast, feeding that beast, feeding that beast. And the next thing you know, the beast is too big to control. And so I would encourage you, if you have a son, to teach him how to manage the beast. Every man I've ever known, especially ambitious men, we all have the same urges, the same feelings, the same everything, right? But you have to learn how to balance that if you're ever going to be successful. Building wealth requires discipline, but it takes just as much, if not more, discipline to protect the wealth that you have. So again, I'm not here to dance on Diddy's grave. I'm not here to gloat about what he's going through. I'm also not here to defend him because I do not know this man. I'm just here to point out what I see and I really care about you. That's why I'm having this conversation. I don't really care a whole lot about these celebrities. So anyway, guys, that's my 2 cents for today. Don't forget, tomorrow morning we have financial consciousness training every morning. It's 100% for free. If you'd like to be notified when we meet for financial consciousness training, just text the word morning to the number 87948, or you can also go to b1moneytips.com, or if you want to be notified via text the word morning, MORNING, to the number 87948. And I'll reach out to you in the morning, 10 a.m. We do this every single day. And then the other thing that's happening right now is, you guys know, in the Black Business School, we created the first ever Black financial therapy department. We work with the best therapists to help us to understand the psychological barriers to building Black wealth. This is really important. My wife has a doctorate in social work, and she's also a therapist that trains therapists. So she's not just licensed, but she helps other people get licensed. So she does something called Mental Health Mondays now. And again, this is another free resource for the community for anybody that's interested. So if you want to be invited to Mental Health Mondays, just text the word love to the number 87948. So if you text love to 87948, Dr. Alicia, I'm gonna put this on the screen. she can send you a notification when she goes live for Mental Health on Mondays and her book club and stuff like that. And our goal is just to be professors to the world and professors to you, and to support your family and whatever your goals happen to be. So anyway, I hope you guys will come to the convention. I look forward to seeing you at the convention. We spent the whole year lining up all kinds of experts whose main goal is to solve problems in the Black community. I'm not waiting on no Democrats. We ain't waiting on no Republicans. We're not waiting on anybody but us. And fortunately, the convention has been very successful. We have people from all over the world that come to the convention. So if you are Black and proud and intelligent and want to meet other people that want something better for the community, join us at the All Black National Convention. We meet October 25th through the 27th in Chicago, October 25th through the 27th. And the URL is allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. So have a good day, everybody. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you all tomorrow night with the Kwame Kilpatrick thing. I'll send you guys a text and let you guys know we're doing it. So talk to you soon. Later. Bye-bye.